Okay, reconvene on Sunday, the 12th of May 2024, just gone 51 minutes past midnight Chicago time. Do hope you are doing well. So it's the weekend and time for another weekend futures market recap. We'll go through 15 of the largest futures markets and I'll show you what I'm seeing on my charts. Do hope your trading is going well. We're settled now. We're in Byron Bay. We're here for the next 5 weeks or so. Byron Bay, if you've not been, is the most easterly point on the Australian continent. Bit of a surf mecca, attracts crowds from all over the world here. I was in the water this morning, beautiful 2 to 3 foot waves, but clean, glassy, offshore, turtles in the water, dolphins in the water, that stuff, just beautiful. And I would have heard Brazilian, Italian, French, obviously Aussies in the water, real melting pot for surfers coming from all over the world. Love coming back here. Anyway, we're going to talk charts, going to talk the Emini charts first, then going to do the daily chart for copper, wheat, corn, soybeans and crude, because I think we're setting up for some big moves in those markets and I want to show you the charts there. And then we might get through some of the tip bar charts for the lower time frame stuff for the other markets, but we'll see how we go in terms of time. Now, we're in the middle of rolling out the new better indicators and they're not finalized because we haven't got the defaults right yet. So I'm moving on to the new indicators because my old ones have been overwritten and the defaults aren't right and so they don't look right. So apologies for that. These will look a little bit different than what you're used to, but I'll try and walk you through what we can see here. We've got daily chart of the Emini and the 135-minute chart, the Emini side by side. We've been talking about this for a long time. We're in an uptrend and we had a little bit of a bounce this week. No blue professional bars, no amateur bars down here at the bottom to signal. We just had the right patterns on the lower time frames. We bounced from here. And yeah, we're going to break through recent highs, although at the moment it's having a little bit of trouble. I want to go down to the better sine wave chart on the daily chart. Here you can see it's the energy now that we've had this support level on the lowest time frame. We're coming back above this. On the Emini chart, the support comes in here. But if you look, I think it is the S&P 500 index, this support level actually printed down here. But it's the energy. We've come back up and we're going back to make support to resistance, which will be an end of trend signal when it goes off on the daily chart here. Let's see if it happens in the next day or two, whether we signal underneath this recent high, in which case it will be a confluence of patterns, end of trend on the highest time frame, end of trend on the lowest time frame. But we are miles above resistance on the intermediate time frame here, this line down here. This has got to go see pullback to end of trend before this whole thing is over. So not calling a top here, not calling the end of this uptrend move, because if we have some weakness from here, it'll just be caught by support when it comes in on the intermediate time frame and will push up on that intermediate time frame and pull back to end of trend. So it's still early days in terms of finding the top. We might have a little bit of weakness, but it's nowhere near timing wise the right place for a turn. So this is what happened on the 135-minute chart over the last couple of weeks. On the dip down here, you can see the blue professional bars. They were definitely selling it down here and here, but they're also picking it up at the lows. And we push back up, and at the moment we're pushing back with a lot of amateur patterns into this recent high. We've got Rambo patterns on the lowest time frame, and all this activity pushing it up is weak at the moment. So on the 135-minute chart, before this turns over, we've got to break through this resistance. We might have a little bit of weakness, put in a blue professional bar kind of down here and then push through it. The professionals pick it up. They picked it up on the way down here. They pick it up on the next retrace, and then we push forward, but who knows. 135-minute chart, better sine wave here. There's that little low. We put in a pullback to end of trend on the lowest time frame here, and we're busting up through resistance on that lowest time frame, and we could find resistance on the next highest time frame somewhere in the next few days there. As we go through the time frames, you'll see all of these amateur bars pushing up. So the 45-minute chart here, this is what I mean. On this move up, Rambo patterns. If a Rambo pattern's moving up, I'm looking for the low of the amateur bars as a place to break. And we didn't get that. So yes, it's amateurs pushing up here, which means low average trade size, but we did not break this level down here. So it wasn't a reversal. It didn't end up being a reversal of an amateur breakout. And I always talk about it's a possible reversal of an amateur breakout, and that's what Rambo stands for. Same thing here, another Rambo popped up, and the low of that amateur sequence was up here 5200, and it did not get broken. We'll see if it gets broken in the next day or two, couple of bars, but it didn't get broken at this point here, so it's not a reversal. And on the 45-minute chart, backgrounds in red means we're in a confirmed uptrend in terms of price and volume. And the 45-minute chart here we go, we put in this nice support on the highest time frame. We're busting above here, pull back to end of trend on the lowest time frame, but we're above resistance on the highest time frame, and this has got to go play itself out. This line here, we've got to go find a resistance on the highest time frame to put that in. A 15-minute chart, so it's the lowest time frame that we look at on the minute bars, and again you can see here's the Rambo patterns at those highs. Now this sequence, did get broken. We had a little bit of weakness here. Amateur down bars, testing into there, went nowhere. We continued to break up. Backgrounds in red. We had all of these blue professional bars on that volatility. They picked it up. The market rallied from there. And in terms of cyclical patterns on the 15-minute chart, it's getting a little bit overextended here. So we got ourselves a pullback to end of trend on the lowest time frame, pullback to end of trend on the intermediate time frame. It's all happening around a resistance on the highest time frame. That looks a little bit overdone there. But we've not trailed the stop up on better pro-am here on the 15-minute chart, so we've got to go see blue professional bars, trail this stop up to break that to get a confirmed downtrend in terms of price and volume. So it might look weak on the 15-minute chart, but until we see professional activity at those highs showing us that they're either dumping it and trailing the stop up so that it gets broken. So although it looks weak with all of these amateur up bars at the moment, we can't call it a change in trend or a downtrend move until we see these things reverse. This needs to be trailed up, this needs to be trailed up, and the background needs to turn grey for a downtrend in terms of price and volume. So there we go, that's daily all the way down to the 15-minute chart. Let us quickly look at the 13,500 tip bar chart. 13,500, this is where we found support last week. We bounced from there into an uptrend. Big things happen at triples. That's the first triple that happens here. We either have bounces or breaks. Here we had a bounce. Here we had a bounce. So this is a big things happen at triples support. It comes in and we bounce off there. Big things happen at triples resistance comes in here and we bounce off there, we bounce down, we bounce up. This one, big things happen at triples and we break through it. So you either get a big bounce or a big break, and this is what we're doing, we're breaking here. So we're putting in all these pullback to end of trends. We got a little bit overextended here, we fussed around a little bit and broke again into another uptrend move on 13,500 tip bar chart. And on this chart we've got some blue professional bars coming in. They picked it up at the lows down here. These are big pros with the background in blue showing extra high average trade size. That's really important. And then bought the breakout here at this point here, bang, into an uptrend. Started taking profits here, maybe starting taking profits here, and we got the trailing stop pretty close behind at that point. So potentially looking for a break on the better sine wave indicators into a downtrend here. So we'll have to wait and see until that plays itself out. All these end of trends and so on. So we're overdone a little bit, so I could see us getting a little bit of weakness, but all it'll be is a setup for the next move upwards. It's not a change in trend into a downtrend in equities. So there we go, that's what I'm seeing on my charts for the E-mini. Let us look at the daily charts, the higher time frame charts for a couple of big markets. Now, copper has broken out into a really big move, and I think the commodities space is really interesting at the moment. So here we're looking for a couple of signals. So I'm looking at these patterns. You can see these arrows. That means a confirmed break on better pro-am, and it's also an area, a sign of strength with better sine wave. So after we have a big things happen at triples signal here, we're looking for strength breaking into an uptrend on better sine wave, and after we get it here on the daily chart, we're looking for that, and there's the couple of breaks into strength that we get, and finally here a beautiful pattern breaking there. We also have confirmed breaks on better pro-am. Whoops, let me just show you that. And this is where we have an initial break, we come back and we break it again, so it gives us more confirmation. That one we came back to test. A whole bunch of blue professional bars come in, we break, we come back, and then we break it again. So that's a confirmed break on better pro-am. And what I'm looking at here is all the blue professional bars, and on the daily chart, the background, it's big pros. So this is serious volume, buying those lows and buying the breakout. And So at 370 it was a steal. We're now up at 470 on copper, and going to see pullback to end of trends on the daily chart here. This is a really big move that's happened already. Now, the reason why I want to show you the ag charts is I think they're starting to line up with a similar type pattern. Let me show you wheat, which is looking interesting. So wheat's been beat down to here, 550, and then we're well underneath support in the highest time frame here on the daily chart, but we've got a sign of strength just gone off with this week's activity, Thursday, Friday's activity here. Bang, that's important. Plus, we have big pro bars coming in, picking up the lows, nothing happening down here, and then they're getting interested. We've had our exhaustion sell, bullish divergence, we've been basing and basing and basing, and now we're breaking up here, exhaustion buy, getting the move going. And then you can see it nicely on the 367 minute chart, exactly 367 minute bars in a day session of wheat. Wheat doesn't trade like the E-mini or crude. It trades a shorter day, and here you can see our signs of strength coming in here along with our sign of strength here on Better Pro-Am. It's just plotted underneath there, and there's the big pro bars, these guys getting us going, breaking us out of this move. So I think wheat is looking really interesting. Missed the boat on copper for a long-term trade, or at least at the moment, but on the chart of wheat at the moment, I think this is starting to break out and look very interesting. We're breaking above resistance on all three time frames, low, intermediate and high here. And then corn's also looking interesting. So here, big pro bars, bang, a whole bunch of them coming on Thursday, Friday, all this week in fact, because that's the daily chart. All of this week, big pro bars, just like we saw on copper, whole bunch coming in here, bang, bang, bang. So that's looking really interesting here. Exhaustion sell, bullish divergence, blue professional bars come in, big pro bars here. We're breaking above that trailing stop on Better Pro-Am. It's not signaled a confirmation yet, and it's not signaled a confirmation yet on the daily chart here, but on the 367 minute chart, yes, sign of strength. All the bars have turned red here, and we've broken all those blue professional bars coming in, big pro bars all this week, buying that up, and we've got our sign of strength here on corn. Soybeans not quite there yet. Definitely down here we've got our signs of strength. We've broken above trailing stop. We've got big pro bars coming on the lower time frame chart, but we are still beneath this resistance on Better Pro-Am, and we don't have a sign of strength yet here. So a little bit early in terms of soybeans, but definitely wheat and corn looking interesting. Now to contrast that, crude not looking good at the moment. So crude here on the daily chart, we topped out here at 93. Blue professional bars came in here. We've tested back up, got rejected. We're coming back down. Background's in grey, shows a combo trend. So in terms of price and volume, we're in a downtrend. We've got a sign of weakness happening here. So that's not looking good. We've got 1, 2 signs of weakness on crude. On the 460 minute chart down here, we've just rolled over, amateur up bars here, we've got a sign of weakness, and we've just crashed through this trailing stop. Friday's close was pretty weak. We just need to close below here at this point here at 76, 75, and that'll show that we'll have another confirmed downtrend on Better Pro-Am here. So that'll give us 1, 2, 3 signs of weakness. Maybe you could count this one 4. So crude not looking so good on a longer time frame chart. So we go. That's higher time frame charts. I think there's interesting things happening there. Let's go down to the tip bar charts and rip through a few of these. Euro. So short euro at the beginning of the week, and then reverse went long euro. I'm holding a long euro position at the moment, and I don't like it. Because we couldn't crack up through 108. Here we've got exhaustion buy, we've got sign of weakness. It's an end of trend here on the highest time frame. Big things happen at triples. We could bounce off this level. So I'm thinking about maybe reversing that, but just wait and see what happens Sunday into Monday on euro, because the British pound is the reverse. The British pound is looking a little bit stronger. So backgrounds in red, had temporary weakness at this point here. Here's the big pro bars coming at the lows, picking it up. That's significant. There they are down here on this time frame. Yes, we've trailed the stop up and we've got Rambo patterns there, but it's not ready to roll on British pound, so that's different from the euro chart. And the Aussie chart, again, I'm long Aussie at the moment. I was short and then long Aussie, but we ran into Rambo patterns here under the lip, under the trailing stop here on the highest tick frame chart, and it's looking weak. Timing wise, we've still got a resistance to put in here because we've still got support in the highest time frame, but this is looking weak. Signs of weakness at that point. If we broke below this level at 66 even, pretty much, that'll give us a confirmed downtrend on Aussie. So currency is not looking great. Japanese yen still trading down this whole week, spent going down, down, down. 10-year notes also going down at this point. You can see here sign of weakness, sign of weakness, sign of weakness, sign of weakness. So all four time frames are showing us, well, 2 time frames and 2 different views of the market. Price and volume are showing us weakness at that point. Gold had a spectacular week. So it's lined up beautifully here at the beginning of the week. Exhaustion, sell, bullish divergence, blue professional bars. Bought the breakout here. We had signs of strength, bang. We settled in to just 2320 level, and we broke again. More signs of strength, more signs of strength up here. Might be overdone at the moment. We got signs of weakness here, but we're going to come back and form a support in the highest time frame here on the lower tick frame chart. Silver, same thing, broke out this week following gold. Bitcoin, not looking so great. Signs of weakness here. We're under resistance on Better Pro-Am indicator. Background was in grey. We're just fussing around at the moment. I don't know. Blue professional bars, quite a lot come in here and down here. Cyclical support, we'll just wait and see. No blue professional bars coming on the highest time frame chart, which is important. We might have a little bit of a bounce, but it's not got that professional confirmation there. Crude, as I said, crude was looking weak. Here's the way it topped out this week on the lower time frame chart. Sign of weakness, sign of weakness. We start to crash down, sign of weakness, sign of weakness. Yeah. So even on the lower time frame charts, crude is not looking good. And natural gas also in a downtrend at the moment. A sign of weakness, sign of weakness, sign of weakness. So natural gas. Copper, yep, copper did race ahead. A little bit of profit taking up here at 474. Exhaustion buy. Cyclical resistance, an important level there. But let's see, did they just pick it up here and here? Well, it's not broken back into an uptrend. So let's see the next place where the blue professional bars really come in on the higher time frame tip bar chart down here. Corn, there we go, corn this week, nice and strong. Sold off, and then we had this big move, come back to test, and the blue professional bars step in here. But you can see the sign of strengths coming in here and here. So corn's good. Soybeans, that's better for a breakout. All these blue professional bars here. Hasn't turned yet on this time frame or this time frame, but that's interesting on soybeans and wheat. Yeah, wheat's temporarily little bit maxed out at this point here, but not broken down yet. But on the higher time frame charts, it's super important. So is that my last chart? It is my last chart. There we go. So hopefully that video wasn't too long. Hope your trading is going well, and I'm really looking forward to next week's trade.